My name is Janine Knight. I am the Virtual Content Specialist for grades K through 2, students with disabilities in science. This presentation is covering the high leverage practice number 19 from High Leverage Practices in Special Education by the Council for Exceptional Children, which is using assistive and instructional technologies. This high leverage practice encourages teachers to use the Universal Design for Learning framework to select, design, implement, and evaluate important student outcomes. So, what is the Universal Design for Learning, or UDL? This is a short video clip describing what Universal Design for Learning is.
Hello and welcome to Teachings in Education. In this video, you will learn everything you ever wanted to know about Universal Design for Learning. Let's begin with the question of why should educators use a Universal Design for Learning? The purpose of UDL is to provide all students, regardless of their background, with an equal opportunity to learn and succeed in the classroom. A UDL approach must serve the needs of each classroom's diverse group of learners, regardless of the student's cultural background, race, socioeconomic status, gender, language ability, reading, writing, or math proficiency, and even the student's motivation. This approach will empower both students and educators. Now, let's look at some specific benefits of UDL. First off, students are individuals, and some have specific barriers to learning. UDL curriculum designs aim to help students get around those barriers. Still, the approach incorporates assessments, lessons, and objectives that are both challenging and at the same time achievable for each student. This in turn will increase student engagement. Educators are empowered and able to enhance their curriculum for the benefit of their students. Enhanced curriculum includes new technology, exciting lessons, and added materials. Other than removing barriers, UDL should also build on student strength. Too often, educators spend all of their time focusing on deficiencies as opposed to accentuating student positives.
This presentation focuses on multiple means of action and expression as defined in the guidelines for UDL on CAS.org. There is not one means of action and expression that will be optimal for all learners. Providing options for action and expression is essential because it is important to provide alternative modalities for expression, both to level the playing field among learners and to allow the learner to appropriately or easily express knowledge, ideas, and concepts in their learning environment. There are 3 checkpoints under expression and communication. Checkpoint 1, use multimedia for communication, which means the students will express their learning in flexible ways. Checkpoint 2, use multiple tools for construction and composition, where students share thoughts and ideas using tools that complement the learning goal. And checkpoint 3, build fluencies with graduated levels of support for practice and performance, where educators apply and gradually release scaffolds to support independent learning. I'm going to focus on Unit 3, Day 30, Patterns of Weather. How can organizing our observations help us describe the weather? I'm focusing on Day 30, Day 31, 32, 33, and 34, the check for understanding. SeeSaw gives all learners different ways to demonstrate their learning. They design tools that are intuitive for all learners and make it easy for students to choose the tool that works best for them, whether it be photo, video, voice, text, and even more. For example, students can take photos of written work, record a video of themselves reading out loud, or record their train of thought as they work through a math problem using the Draw and Record tool. Additionally, teachers can add voice instructions or video instructions to any lesson or announcement to support pre-readers and visually impaired students. The goal is going to be to show how the students can express themselves in different ways through this application. So I created this activity in the activity library. It's in my library in SeeSaw. This is what the interface looks like in the activity library. I'm going to show you how to get there. In your class, each student has their own journal. So here's where your class information is. So here I am, the sample student. And this is how I reconstructed the checkup for understanding to fit into this window and on these slides. So you'll notice for the student, they see all of their slides on this right side here. They can add a page. You have a check mark from when you're done. I have this draft button. This draft button is only on the paid version of SeeSaw. So of course there's a free version and a paid version. Okay, so the students can always click and view instructions to know what to do. And the instructions are voice instructions so that because their students are in kindergarten, they will be able to just click play instructions and hear what they need to do. As they're listening, they can see that the directions do have pictures and just very few words. Unit 3, Our Weather. Checks for Understanding, days 30 to 34. At the end of each lesson, complete the Check for Understanding page. Directions. Click Add. Click Caption to hear the question. Choose Drawing, Microphone, Video, or Label to answer the question. Click Check to submit. Once they understand the directions, they can get started. So here's what they're going to do. Here's where caption is, where it said click the caption to hear the question. So if they can't read the question, they can listen to it. How can organizing our observations help us to describe the weather? And they have the choice to either type. I can always, as the teacher, start the sentence for them so that they could just finish it if they want to type. And I can make it a different color so that that's fun for them to type in there. So they can type, they can record their voice, and here is their voice. Organizing observations helps us to describe the weather by. Another option is to record a video, where they click the video, and as long as their camera is enabled, they can record a video of themselves. Or they can use the drawing tools, which are right on the bottom. So there are many different ways for students to show what they know using an application like SeeSaw, which is also a learning management system. That's how you use SeeSaw accessibility features. So just to remember that it is important to provide alternative modalities for expression, both to level the playing fields among learners and to allow the learner to appropriately or easily express knowledge, ideas, and concepts in the learning environment. I hope you liked this video. Thank you so much for tuning in.